Welcome to I Don't Have the Answers, but let's talk about it anyway. I'm your host, Tim Four, and tonight is my first full episode. Before I dive into that topic for the evening, I wanted to give you a little bit of background and what you can expect from going forward. Every Sunday night, I'm going to be publishing a 30 to 45 minute episode. I'm going to pick 1 to 2 topics that I've thought that we need to discuss or that I've gotten requests from. Since I don't have any requests yet, because I'm just now going to be going live tonight, I picked this one myself. Tonight's going to be all about parenting. Now, originally I started recording this last week, and I recorded it 10 times, and couldn't quite get it right. I decided that that's not going to happen anymore. I'm going to record it in one take it or leave it. This is what you get, straight off the shoulder and into your ears. Let's get started. Tonight's topic is on parenting. Now, what gives me the right to talk about parenting? I've actually failed at parenting and succeeded. It takes a lot for me to say that I failed as a parent. It hurts even thinking about it. But my oldest son, as some of you out there listening to this could attest to, my first son, I did terrible. I made so many mistakes, left, right, center, you name it, I made mistakes. I was not exactly the best husband back at that time either. Kind of hard to get along with. I honestly don't think I've ever apologized for half the stuff that I did, if any. Someday I will take the chance to apologize to my ex-wife and set the balance straight. But until then, maybe I can impart some wisdom and help some other people out there who may need some assistance being a parent. Out of that failure, I have learned so much. Every time I do something with my youngest son, I think I should have done this with my oldest. Now, I have helped to create life 3 times with 3 sons. I have helped to be a father figure to a few others. I don't claim that I've ever got it 100% right. I don't think I'm getting it 100% right now. But I have learned. And anybody who is a parent can tell you that it is a learning process. You don't get a book or a manual on day 1 telling you, hey, don't do this, but you should do this. There are some common sense things, don't drop the baby. Whoops, you only learned that one time. Do your best to keep sharp objects away from them. Other things like that. Try not to store the rat poison next to the formula, that kind of stuff. But there's a lot of things that nobody does tell you. I mean, the way you talk to your child, giving comfort with the words that you say and how you say it, is a lot to a child, no matter the age. Even from day 1, hearing a caring voice and being consistent in that voice is a lot for a child. It gives them the stability that they need to grow and to nurture and to become responsible adults. If you don't have that from the beginning, it's really hard to get back to a place to earn it. Now, making a child is easy. Just ask my brothers and sisters and I. We're professionals at making children. I believe that we are going to be repopulating the state of Florida by ourselves. But raising a child, now that's something totally different. It goes far beyond the right toys and the right educational materials and feeding them right, remembering to feed them, clothing them right. I mean, yeah, it's cool to have matching clothes, but how many of us actually take the time to think about, is this pair of Nikes going to provide the right support for my child? Or does this outfit have any UV protection when they go outside? We live in Florida, folks. That's some stuff that I would never have thought about when I was younger. And are we showing them the right level of care? Do we treat each other fairly as adults and give them that example? Do they see us being nice to one another? Do they see us picking up trash when we're in public to learn that that is what you're supposed to do? Those little things that nobody tells you is important, you're supposed to know those. I hope that the little bit that I can talk to you about tonight will give you some ideas. Now, when I first started thinking about this particular subject, I thought, I'm going to hit this and I'm going to trash all of those new age parents that are out there. I'm going to debunk everything that they're talking about, everything that they've done, all these apps that they use, all of. I couldn't be further from the truth. I spent days recording over and over and over again, and it just didn't feel right. Now, do I think that some of the things that modern parents are doing are wrong? Yeah, but not everything. Do I think that traditional parents from way back are doing it right? No, not always. I mean, if you look back in the 50s and even before that, the nuclear family, so to speak, was the man out working, the woman at home cleaning and taking care of the child. The only kind of relationship that father and son had was related to sports or fisticuffs. It was all rotated around the mother. Do I think that's right? No. Nowadays we need to have that even both sides communication and relationship with both the father and the mother equally with the child. Is it a higher chance that the family is separated at this point? Yeah, but not always. So there's things about both schools of thought that I think are correct. Now, I like sitting down to dinner with the whole family and talking about the day. No electronic devices at the table. Getting to know what my sons did for the day. That feels good to me, to be a part of at least one time in their day that they can rely on, that's consistent, that they know that they're going to see both sides of their family. And listen. Take your time to listen to your child, because there's some crazy stuff coming out of their mouths that you're never going to be able to duplicate if you don't pay attention. And you need to share these stories, because we need more material on social media to laugh about throughout the day. Trust me, when my little guy tells me as we're driving down the road or any crazy things where he looks at me and he says, "Daddy, why isn't Mom driving? You don't know where you're going." Yes, I understand that that might be humorous at the moment, but if you don't pay attention, you're missing out on these gems of stories. But I'm diverting away from my original topic. As I said, stay in touch with your family and with your children. Make sure you pay attention to what they do on a daily basis. Don't just ask them how they did that day or what they did. Ask them who they sat next to. Ask them what they had for lunch if you didn't pack it, because, I mean, if you packed your lunch, you should know what they had. Anyway, ask them about a different thing that they learned in class that day. Just talk to them and get a sense of how their day goes. It's important that we don't just drive by their day. So my first point is communication. Making sure that you're communicating. Next point, don't let a digital device raise your child. Don't sit there and let the TV babysit. Take a few minutes and talk to them. Get to know them. Share some time with them. I know we're all busy. Every single one of us is busy. But digital babysitting, I do not think it is the right way. So many of our young people nowadays have difficulty socially interacting with each other live because they spend so much time in a digital world. Now, that's great to be able to communicate digitally, but if you can't do it physically, face to face, there's a big portion of your life and your career that you could be throwing away. So make sure that we teach our children social interaction. Take the time to let them express themselves physically. Let them be a part of the world. Don't let them just be a favorite on your webpage. Don't let them just be a friend in social media. Be a part of your child's life. Another couple things about being a parent. Find out what they truly like. Don't push them to do something. Ask them what they truly like. Too often we say, yeah, let's go. You're going to try out for football. You're going to go out for baseball. You're going to go to this game. You're going to do this. Rarely do we take the time to ask our child, is this really what you want? Because I bet you 9 times out of 10, they do not want to wake up at 6 o'clock in the morning on Saturday just to make sure they're at practice on time or they're doing this and that. Let them be a kid. Let them live a child's life. We push them so hard and so fast to grow up and to do all these things that we have the ideas that they want to do. It's not always the right thing. Now, don't get me wrong. There are some things out there that we have to push them to do. Community service is a big one. Doing their homework in class and everything like that. Yes, push them that way. But when it comes to extracurriculars, give them the opportunity to tell you what they want. We can't live vicariously through them forever. Yeah, I would have loved to have been a football star in high school and done this and done that in sports. That doesn't mean I'm going to push my child to do something that he's not. I'm not going to push him into a sport that he should never have been in. I've done that once and I still regret it to this day. It was not the right thing to do when he was younger. And if he's listening right now, I'm sorry about that too. We have to listen as parents. Oftentimes it is hard. We think that we know the best. I was scrolling through the other day and I saw a post where somebody had said, when your child comes home from school, they don't always have a way of saying, I had a rough day, or it was tough, or it was hard. Sometimes they just say, Daddy, will you play with me? That is their way of letting you know that I had a tough time and I need you to be with me. If we don't listen to those kind of things, if we don't pay attention to our children, they're going to know. And they're going to get to a point where they don't talk to us anymore. They don't tell us what's going on. And that is one of the hardest things to go through, is realizing that you're not needed in your child's life anymore. Realizing that they don't want anything that you have to offer because you've wasted all the opportunities that there were. And here you are at 43 years of age with a child that you missed out on 80% of their life because of bad decisions. If ever I can give you guys a bit of advice out there, don't follow that way of thinking. Parents aren't always right, and children aren't always wrong. A couple other things about being a parent nowadays. Be aware of your children's surroundings when you're not with them. Yeah, there's researching, due diligence, but go to their schools. Walk around. When they offer tours of where they're going to classes, take them. It helps later on when your 5-year-old comes back and says, yeah, we went and we did this and this and this, and we did it over here. It helps to know what they're talking about, because trust me, you don't want to be that guy who's like, what the heck is he talking about? So pay attention to what's going on in your child's surroundings, because it helps later down the road. Another thing, don't be so overprotective that you don't let your child live. Now, I'm not saying sign them up for bungee jumping when they turn 3 or rock climbing at 4. But let them have fun. Yeah, it's all right for a 6-year-old to have a dirt bike, or if they want to, or a 4-wheeler with protective equipment. It's all right for them to want to take karate and stuff like that. It's all good. Make sure you're safe, but don't go overboard. Your child can't live wrapped in bubble wrap inside of a vacutainer or hermetically sealed away from life. If they do, then trouble will happen down the road. It's called not being able to socially adjust in high school. So give them the freedom with limits to be a child and to have fun. Be adventurous. Go out and do the things that they want to do. That's the best thing that we have to offer them, is to give them a full life. I know that when I was a child, my parents were pretty awesome. They would open the door on Saturday morning after we've had our breakfast, and we weren't homebodies. They'd say, go out, see you at lunch. My brothers and I would hop on our bikes and try to see if we can get away from my sisters fast enough that they couldn't find out where we're at, or to see if we can get around the corner before Dad said, don't forget to take your sister. And this was way before we had cell phones, and I mean, I do remember having a pager a little bit after that. But anyway, there were times that we would be on our bikes for 6-8 hours, just riding with nowhere in particular to go, having a blast. Now, of course, you can't exactly do that nowadays with all the problems that we have in the world, but let them be adventurous. You can't be over their shoulder every minute of every day. I know we want to. I mean, I would love to get some time back, but we can't. Let them make memories. Let them remember the mistakes they made. Let them fall. Oh my God, please let them fall. Let them get hurt. If they trip and fall, or they fall off their bike, let them fall. Don't rush to their side. I'm not saying to totally ignore them. Don't neglect them. I mean, if there's blood coming out, or if their legs are going the wrong direction, you might want to take a look. But wait for them to react to what happened. This morning, my little one went out. We're riding. He's riding his bike. I'm walking the dog, and he fell, took a spill. He was wearing his helmet, and everything was all right. I was there, but I didn't rush to him. I didn't run to him right away. Too many times when I was little, people come running to me, and my sisters and my mom will tell you that I wasn't exactly able to handle injuries as a child. They might say that I was a little bit dramatic, whatever. But my little guy this morning, he just stood up, brushed it off, hopped back on the bike, and took off. It's not necessary to sit there and run immediately to baby them all the time. Let them get hurt. They learn that way. I swear, when you fall down and scuff your knee up, you learn not to do whatever stupid thing it was that you did before to scuff your knee up. Unless you're my brothers, and they just kept scuffing up their knees. Anyway, take the time to let them be children. I know that there's a lot of people out there that want to immediately stop their child from doing any dangerous acts or anything like that. They're wrong. I mean, I don't have any legitimate reasons to say that they're wrong, other than I've had an adventurous life, and I wouldn't give it up for anything. And that leads to the last item that I want to talk about as far as parenting. When they become young adults and they start to make their decisions on where they want to be in life and what they want to do with their life, support them. As long as it's not immoral or illegal, support them. Now, I'm not saying reach in your back pocket and start shoveling out money. I'm talking make sure that you let them know that you're proud of them for making the plans and making the decisions, and that you're happy to be there and back them, but support them. They might have come up with some atrocious ideas. Fortunately, my sons have not. They've actually picked some pretty good direction when they wanted to do something with their careers. But If it's something you don't like, or if it's something you don't agree with, have a tactful adult conversation with them and give your point of view. Do not tell them no, they're not going to do it. I assure you, they're going to do it whether you like it or not. It's just a whole lot better having your support. You want them to be able to look at you and say thank you for being behind them instead of sending you a postcard from another country or another state saying, oh, by the way, I did this. You don't want to be the parent that has no clue what's going on because they were afraid to tell you. Or you don't want them to sneak out in the middle of the night to go do something just to avoid confrontation with you. Those are things that will live with you for a very, very long time. If you provide the support that they need, if you give them the foundations to succeed, you will be a partner in whatever career choice, in whatever direction they go in. You won't be a hindrance. And when you're starting out in this world, you need all the partners you can get. So, with that being said, I want to thank you all for sticking around for this little show, and I hope that you stick around for many more. I've had a blast with this first episode, and I'm excited to say that there are many more to come. Feel free to comment. Make sure to like or subscribe. I appreciate you taking your time and look forward to many more conversations because, as you well know, I don't have the answers. But we can talk about it anyway.